While traveling, it's usually best to pack light. When it comes to money, carrying some cash and having an alternative like Zelle is a great idea. Zelle's an easy way to send and receive money with people you trust. At any U.S. bank, it's already in thousands of different banking apps, and it's money straight into your bank account in minutes fast. Look for Zelle in your banking app today. Safe travels.
Holidays are here, and so is fashionable fitness. Gift yourself a Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3 5G, a phone that folds in half to literally stand on its own. Pair it with the Galaxy Watch 4 for ultimate wellness and wow factor. Check health stats, flex personal records. Over 90 activities can be tracked, like biking, swimming, golfing, and more. Invest in yourself with tech made to crush goals. Holidays open up with Galaxy. Shop it all at Samsung.com. 5G connection and availability may vary. Check with carrier. Products sold separately.
Put that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open. You'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
My winkies aren't the same length. What do you call the damn tassels that hang off your hoodie? What do you call those?
I don't know. What are you talking about, your winkies?
Well, my winkies aren't the same length. My right winky is much longer than my left winky. Okay.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, the lady on the right wasn't. But anyhow, welcome to the tavern, everybody. Tonight's topic is going to be, what do you do with spare room? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about spare room. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Want to let everybody know who I am. And that kind of really fills everybody in on a lot about me right there in that short statement. But I will be drinking bourbon. Actually, I'm sorry, it's an Irish whiskey. It's Jameson's tonight and Coke Zero. And I have a Savinelli and a GBD pipe set up with some Cornell and Deal Vanilla Cavendish that I might light up in a little bit here. Now, let's turn to the muscle of our group and have Andrea introduce herself.
Hey, Andrea LaChat here, and my vices are, well, let's see, knitting. I'm going to finish this blanket, hopefully before the end of the show, and I have water. I refilled it from the tap, so there you go.
So it's icy cold, like the wintry snows.
Kind of.
Okay. What about you, Ed? What do you got, man?
What's up, people? I'm drinking way too much Pinot Noir. Way too much.
No more cheese?
Yeah, I still got some good. Teresa keeps sneaking in here off camera and grabbing the Gouda. There's a reason why she stays off camera too.
Well, I know.
I don't think it's a very
cancel the show.
Some things are worth losing the show for.
She is wearing her suit tonight, people.
It's
mm-hmm.
It's
hard to stay focused when she does that.
Apparently that's why I'm stumbling over the words. So yes, what's everybody else's vices? And for everybody who is in our live streaming chat on twitch.tv/Travis Tavern Talk, we are recording a podcast here, so we might not be answering every comment you throw in the chat. But if it is relevant and or amusing, but definitely both, we will get to them and comment on it. Tell us what your vices are. Drop it right there in chat, and we'll address some of them probably in a few minutes. And then for those of you not listening live, if you're listening to us on the podcast, welcome to the tavern. Where the fuck are you? Yeah. But we're glad you caught us over there on Pandora or Apple or Spotify or Google or wherever you found us at. Glad to have you here. And don't forget, you can always email us about the topic or about your belly button or about, probably best not, that person you can see through the window next door. Let's leave that one out. But
email us about it. We'll talk about that shit.
Yes, all right.
Okay, fair point. We will. Talk of the Tavern Show. Talk of the Tavern Show at gmail.com. I think that's good enough. Oh, you know what else I want to talk about? I usually talk about this at the end. But check out this awesome Talk of the Tavern hoodie I got. It's the one where the Winkies are not the same length.
The Winkies are the same.
This is
You
one
got
that I was
Winky
offering to
issues.
you, Ed. But you said you don't wear hoodies.
No.
And
Only the zip up kind.
does anybody else have the
Me too.
problem with, like, I don't like hoodies in general, but I got it because, I wanted to see how the product was, and it's really nice. It's great quality. But all the hoodies I have from my job, they all shrink. And eventually, this hoodie that came down to the right place on my arm, it's like I'm back in 7th grade still wearing my 5th grade sweatshirt. Because they weren't hoodies back then, they were sweatshirts.
I hate it when my hoodie shrinks and I'm not ready for it.
Hey, how you doing? Not circumcised, I see, sir. Let's read some of these guys' vices. Wordwin has tea. Gary claims that cheese just gets in the way of the wine and room temperature bottled water here. Oh, and the tea is black Ceylon. Black Ceylon. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's coming out soon.
Wait, what? Who? What?
A new Battlestar Galactica.
Oh,
Moving forward?
nice.
Or a reboot?
It's I don't know. They're still deciding. It's going to be on the new, what is it, Peacock or whatever the hell NBC is.
Oh, that's something else to
yeah,
make note of.
Peacock.
CBS All Access is going away
What?
and
Oh,
being
really?
replaced by, I believe, Warner Brothers Plus or Paramount Plus. It's something plus.
Okay.
So they're getting a bigger catalog by expanding whatever. Doug has...
So does that mean we got to pay for something new?
I don't know.
Or it just rolls over?
I assume it'll roll over
Okay.
because they want to keep the old money too. So they just want to bring more people in by having more content. Doug says, I've got Pepsi and my vices are writing and Twitch. Wait, what? Hearst? Oh, okay. See, Hearst typed poorly and it confused me. He was just suddenly getting naked and then there was a zip up and I was confused and then he had to get something off and it was a whole mess right there in chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, a new Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, I'm with you, Gary. The original wasn't so good, but it was what the day had. The new one, I didn't even make it to season 2 before I wandered off distracted.
They ran out of money.
It doesn't matter. I know they had like 4 seasons.
Yeah.
So, let's do an opening toast. I think we forgot that in a few recent episodes.
We did.
So,
I'll drink to that.
here we go. We'll drink to forgetting at our age. Also, there we go. There's a good toast. Thank you, Cogsley. Here's to our vices. May we always choose them, but never be slave to them.
Here.
Gary Lorengreen was in the original from the late 70s. The new one was Adama was played by the pockmarked Hispanic guy from Miami Vice, right?
From Miami Vice, yeah. Edward something, James Olmos or something
you
like
got
that.
it. You got it.
And Starbuck was fucking hot.
That's right. In both versions.
She's in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, she is. I noticed that, and I commented on that, and Andrea's like, who? And I'm like,
I don't remember people.
I'm like, the princess is a base. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows but Starbuck. Yeah, I told Andrea that Starbuck was hot. She's like, I'll take a cup. It was embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
Had to take away some
I'll
nerd
watch.
cred. I'll take a C cup, thank you. Hey.
I got 2 of those.
Hey! Yay! I don't know what else to go now. Right, the topic. Let's head for... I did the intro. I did all the other stuff. We did a toast. Actually, remember to toast. Let's not forget the closing toast this time.
And check in the mailbag.
Oh, I can check in the mailbag now or at the end of the show.
Well, I'm saying remember to do it at the end.
Remember to check the mailbag. Okay, in case something comes in.
Yeah.
Any second now. I'm just making sure I don't have any other notes. Okay. So, when we talk about spare rooms, we tend to think of a room in our house, and that's definitely a viable thing that we can talk about. Whether you have a junk room, which, by the way, mystifies me for somebody to have a whole room that they never use, but you can talk about that also. Or if you have a kid moving out, or just there's been a change in your world, now you have an extra room. But it doesn't have to be a whole room either. And I'll go into that because I have something coming up here in my world where I'm going to be recommissioning space. The final frontier.
Am I leaving?
Surprise!
Asking for a friend.
Why? Somebody need a place to stay? See, Wordowin says it's like a really big junk drawer. Yeah. Confused the fuck out of me. So let's. I guess we could start simple, unless anybody has anything to say right off the bat.
Does the spare room have to be in your house? Can you do this in someone else's house?
Well, there sounds like
need a place to hide the bodies. Asking for a friend.
Is it a dead friend that you're looking to hide the body of?
Not gonna say.
This is my ex, Stiffy. So, generally, yes, it's probably best if it's in your own house. Otherwise, you're walking naked through the other person's house to get to your spare room.
Okay.
Well, we can go to your new neighbor's house. There's got a lot of wide open spaces in that house. How many people live in that? Is it one person in there?
They'll never know.
See, Ed, this is a chance for you to get a spare room.
She's seen me naked before anyway, so
I know.
it wouldn't
We
be
all
any
have.
big deal. I mean, yeah. I mean, hell, she sees me now when I step out on my back deck to smoke a cigarette. It's it again. It was like, oh shit, she's got company. I better step back inside.
And even if he's holding a cigarette in one hand, a drink in the other, he can still wave at her. To be polite, he puts a Mickey Mouse glove on the end. Just don't get it stuck in the door of the glory hole. Anyhow, Wordowin says a question that Ed brought up before the show even started is turning outdoor sheds into home offices became real popular around last March. Here's what I'm going to say. I love every room to have a different purpose and function. If I had enough rooms, one would be my media room with the surround sound speakers and padded walls where I can keep relatives or watch a loud movie and not bother somebody else in the house. I love, though, fun fact, I love my kitchen, dining room, and living room to kind of be one large room so everybody can interact while people are cooking without being in the fucking kitchen. So, like a bar or something between them. But right now, I'm in a 5-bedroom house. Now, one is my office where I stream and I write. And you can see that around me, behind me. Andrea has her own room. Right there, her office, her craft room. Then her 19-year-old cat has her own room. True story.
It used to be the library.
It was. We had books on all the walls, except where the doors were, because that made it hard to get out, so we changed that. But we now have my son coming up on 18 years old, and he doesn't stay in this house for the most part. Matter of fact, he's barely ever here. So I'm like, if he's not using a room, we're going to find something to do with this room. Now, one thing I'm doing is, there's a closet back here behind me. It's hard to see here after dark in the tavern. I'm going to turn that into a sound booth to record audiobooks.
Cool.
Which I thought about doing with my son's room once he moved out, and I'm like, I don't need all that space. And also, then I have to carry a computer all the way across the house, far away from the internet, if I want to stream it while I do it. And I have
and that's a lot more padding. You have soundproofing you have to do. So.
Right. Whereas this little closet, it is literally 24 inches by 45 inches. And then a curtain across the doorway, put the main computer outside. I will set up a permanent monitor and microphone in there. This is why I got that Blue Yeti, Ed. I do have to get another camera in there that has a low light capability, though. I'd love to get another Brio, but they're expensive. I have Gary to thank for the one that I have now. He definitely improved.
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, he definitely improved the quality of the
break.
show. I know, it's best if we talk nice about him while he's not here. So, before I pull Andrea into this conversation about all the things we could do with that spare room, Ed, you've had a spare room since somebody moved out.
Well, I got a whole spare addition because we put an addition on the house for my dad when we moved him in here. Oh, maybe I just lost it.
No.
Did anybody else just lose the show on Twitch?
I'm still seeing all connection. Must be you.
I still see it.
Okay, it must have been me. Sorry about that, people. But yeah, we put an addition on the place when we moved my father in, and I am now literally in his kitchenette. It's become my hobby room as well as my office. On the other side of the door back there used to be his sitting space, and that's Teresa's office and our library. So yeah, it's cool. And we have a closet. Big closet that was a part of it too that we put in. If I own guns, it would be my gun closet, but I don't own any guns, so therefore it's not my gun closet. So
this is something else to talk about with spare rooms. Putting up that bookshelf in front of the door, or putting up, that floor-to-ceiling mirror so it looks like there's no doorway there. How much fun is that? Of course, I've always had a problem. In modern houses, when a part of the fucking house is missing, you're like, wait a minute, there were 4 more windows. Where the hell's that room? Because it should be right here. You've only got 4 corners to your house and 1 corner's missing. So, what are you going to do? Because you still have yet another room.
What used to be his bedroom has a bathroom, so we left that as our spare bedroom, our guest bedroom.
See, Ed, like me, he kind of does. Now, he has a running theme throughout his whole house. A running theme isn't right. Mood, feel. But he has the bar downstairs, and he has, the kind of TV room in the kitchen, and then the kind of dining nook more than anything, because we've hit an age. Since we don't have kids, how often do we sit at a table to eat anymore?
Rarely.
Right. Unless you have a large group of people coming over, then Ed has a hand-hewn picnic table. It is
farm table, huge farm table. Yeah.
So, by the way, Wordwin says best thing to do with a spare room is to make it a secret room. See, that's a fun thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. How do you make a secret room? Shh, beware.
First, you don't talk about it. You don't tell anybody.
You don't tell anybody.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
And just like if they walk by going, hell, what's in that room? You're just like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. There's no room there.
I don't see a door.
You mentioned those bookshelves before. I've seen those and contemplated those a couple of times, putting one of those in. But, it's a bookshelf doorway. Kind of cool.
It is.
Mhm.
The big thing is, if you're going to put real books on it, you've got to make sure you have good wheels on the bottom. Because otherwise, that shit leans. Now,
Yeah.
if you're going to go to the thrift store and just buy a bunch of books and cut them off so they're only 1 inch deep and make it look like it's a bookshelf,
There
it's
you
a
go.
different story, but that's a lot of work.
You can just print out book covers and put it on cardboard boxes.
Still feels like a lot of work. And you got to glue them to the door.
Well, you don't have to, but you know.
I want to make like a speakeasy door for it. The little what's the password?
Yes.
Andrea, let
Like
me
that
in.
place we went to. Huh?
Well, what?
Like that place we went to where the one bar was downstairs and you go through. That was so cool.
Yep, and you almost had to duck through
It was
that
like a
little hallway.
speakeasy.
It was.
So we dressed like in the 20s and pretended that's what it was.
Mhm.
Got chicken wings.
Oh man, I wanted wings tonight.
Mm.
I wanted wings and curly fries. Yeah, exactly. Where it says they have the big panels that look like wood, brick, and books. Yeah, you get those. Put those up on the door. Here's a cat butt if anybody needs to see it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So we all like the idea of a secret door, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Of course, you got to kind of be
Yes.
long-term dedicated to the house. Like if you're renting an apartment, you might not want to make one of the rooms into a secret room. You make the closet into a secret room. Be reasonable. So,
Yeah.
Andrea, what do you want to do with our spare room? What kind of crazy things? And then we'll start talking about if we stay here long term or wherever we move to, how big of a shed do we need to do the other things we want to do?
So the room, kind of storage. Put up the shelves and get like all the craft stuff out of the hallway.
That's practical.
So we can, yeah. Well, I'm thinking that, and then in the hallway where the big freezer is, put the other pantry stuff there.
Because
We
we
have
also
more room.
we want to start canning stuff too.
Yeah, I want to put a shelf there and can stuff. I want to go to pick your own whatever and pick our own whatever and then
Would that
can
be
it and
pick your own shelf at Ed's house? Because he got some nice. Oh,
no, ew.
canned
No, the
burgers.
apples and the fruits
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
things.
That's something else I've threatened Ed with is if we ever go to a pick your own anything, our first stop is his house to give him
Oh, yeah.
part of it so he can part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. We're going to get to that. I'll come back to that in a few moments. See, Andrew, what I want to do is I want to use the closet to hold my suits and my cosplay or reenactment stuff, depending on what term you want to use nowadays. I want to set up your exercise bike in there, and maybe my art studio. So when I do oil painting, it could be in there. Because if we have
Cover everything in plastic.
well, man, she would
Like Dexter's Kill Room,
She
you
would
know?
shit herself if she came home. I'm like, hey, come look at the art studio. She walks in just plastic everywhere. She'd be like, I need to go to the store for something, like the police.
No, I don't think I would freak out because of that.
Maybe not. I tell you what, if I ever going to kill somebody, it's going to be out in the yard. It's just easier to hose down the grass in a couple days in nature. That shit goes away. Don't kill them in
There's
your
like
house.
pigs around. You could toss them there, you know?
Then blame the
So-
neighbor.
There you go.
Yeah.
What if it is neighbor?
Plan made on International Podcast. Well done.
Right.
No, but I would like to store. You said store, vacuums in there. Have a collection.
It's not a collection.
Except for the
She
Roomba.
uses it. The Roomba must roam
I do.
free.
I use them all.
It's more of a Roomba than a Roomba.
The Roomba. Well, I need to get one of those first, so then it can roam free. Just saying.
They're $700. Here's what I tell you. Start streaming and just, you know how people put up like, I need a new computer. I need a new left foot. Andrea needs a Roomba. You know, aiming for $768. And that's the goal she's heading for.
That could happen because I need this. And then I will stream the cats riding it or running from it or Steve flopping in front of it and it running over him. You know, like you do.
I hope Giraffe doesn't try to ride it. I don't know if your Roomba could handle 20 pounds
Buy the warranty
of glutinous mass. So, Ed, work with us on this one. If you can add one or more sheds of any size, from just the kind that can hold, like, you know, buckets of paint that are, like, you know, waist tall and 3 foot across, to a full, like, 2-story tall barn. And by the way, to add to this, Wordwind says you can get a container, put it in the back, paint it to match the house. If you need more room, just stack containers. Here's what I'll suggest about that is, stack containers, but drop the bottom one like 2 feet into the ground, and then going into the containers out of the back of the house, have like that split foyer thing happening. So you got one stair going up to the top half and one stair going down to the bottom half. And if you did something like that container or the huge barn, how could you not put a movie screen on the far end and set that shit up like a movie
theater? I'd get a projector.
Yeah.
Yeah, invite everybody over for camping and movies. Hell yeah.
You also get
bonfire afterwards.
You go and get like the 84-inch TV. You just get a projector screen that pulls down over it, so you can use both. You know. And I tell you what, if that happens, I have to.
But then you have to run power out there for the TV.
Well, yeah, you got to run power out there anyway for the projector. What do you think? These things run on good wishes and fart juice? Fart juice is nasty.
You mean they don't?
Don't put that in your mouth.
Gross.
Well, it depends where you're at, Wordwind, but I'm not talking about like all the way below the ground. I'm just talking like a 2.5 feet or so. But yeah, there is the problem with that, and the problem with the container also is they fucking cat tend to be metal, and metal is eventually going to rust.
There's not good insulation.
I guess it does depend what you seal it with.
I mean, because the metal out in the sun, that would get really hot. Or in the winter, it'd get really cold.
I guess then you're going to go, you know what you do? You build a wooden framework around it and spray insulate in between that wooden thing and the metal container.
Oh, there you go.
See, now you just might as well fucking build an addition. Bless you, Ed.
Thank you.
Quick draw on that mute button there. Well done. So what about you, Ed? It's if you had, like flat land that could support a shed somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woodshed. Teresa's dying for a wood shop. She wants a wood shop. Yeah.
I know you guys also at one point in time mentioned, because you're right near the Appalachian Trail. And you mentioned making something so folks can stay in it.
Yeah, we wanted to do take a couple of 12x12s and kind of angle them together, and do a little mini hostel. But money just didn't work out that way.
Don't you think you'd have homeless in it at some point in time?
Oh, lock it.
No. Then how do people know it's there to use?
Oh, if you're doing something for the Appalachian Trail, if you put it in they have a book that they print out every year that has the list of all the hostels in it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they can, hey, I want to stay in your hostel. Okay, I'll leave it open for you, dude. Yeah.
Cool.
I know somebody that does that.
Is that Sula?
Yeah.
Sula?
She's in a different state, but yeah.
She also she
does
runs a
that.
bed and breakfast, but
No.
she does have a thing in the back for the other folks. Wordwin has had a few comments here I'm going to read off. Going back to the container idea, can spray it with poly. A couple inches is fine. Remember, a couple of pipes for ventilation. Though if you're going foam anyway, some chicken wire over a frame, some foam, and instant room. I think I would trust a container better to the hurricane winds we get on the East Coast here sometimes than a foam, wood, and chicken wire. I just feel like the wind would be like, I'm just going to take this over here for a while.
Well, I would trust the metal container better out here because of the things that are running around.
There is that too. We do have things that will burrow into foam on occasion. So, I'd love a gaming room. Now, when I say a gaming room, it would have to be so much more than a gaming room. Because I want a dartboard and a pool table. Then I want a large farm table like what you have there, Ed. And that medieval pub feel, that old British pub feel. Somewhere between those two eras.
Oh, okay. I was way off the mark when you said gaming room. I was thinking 50 Shades of Grey. I'm sorry.
That's called a playroom, not a gaming room.
Oh, okay.
That's different. See, I was thinking D&D.
Right. Which that's why I want the big farm
And video games like arcade games, pinball machine. That would be so cool.
I think that would be very cool, but honestly, with the pinball games, like I can get a pinball game or two. But if I did a couple stand-up and like one table game, I would have to get the one that has like 12 games or 50 games in it. Because I don't need to buy an original one. So I'd get the one that has like, the whole library of Sega or Atari or whatever.
You need like the bar games. You know that monitor thing that's on the bar?
Mm-hmm.
And as you sit there and drink and you pump in quarters, you could play solitaire or matching or trivia or whatever.
See, the problem with making a room like this is I then have to invite people over.
Who said that?
To play in your playroom? I mean, game room.
Actually, how fun would it be to stream out of that room and just, especially if you could, can you get a mobile rig for Twitch where you can wander around without a cameraman having to be in the same room and it follows you around and you just be like, I'm going to sit here and play video poker while talking to my... This is so lame. I am so sad. I should have disabled the quarter thing. I'm broke.
No, if you have the quarter thing going, then you invite people over. That's how you pay for it all.
There we go. But yeah, I'd like a big tabletop role-playing game room. But I also want one side to have the dartboard and the pool table and maybe a couple stand-up video games or a pinball game and a full bar in another part. And then I've seen Twitch streamers who, and I gotta figure out how to do this. I know it's not terribly hard. They flick a switch on their computer and it turns off the camera in this room and turns on the camera in the next room where they go do woodworking or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had a house like what I'm talking about, I'm like, I need that.
No room would be safe. There'd be cameras everywhere.
Well, we're not going to go crazy like that. There's no need for these people to be in my bedroom.
But it would be nice to have a camera for the cats, so you could stream the cats.
In the bedroom?
Not in the bedroom.
Oh, okay.
Wow, I'm biting my damn tongue off.
Why? Why? Go. What do you got? Okay. You know, I would like an extra shed. Just to be a shed. Because right now...
I'd like to have a root cellar.
For roots?
No, for vegetables and canned goods and hanging meat.
Is that the playroom?
That's different from swinging meat, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, a squirrel came over to lay next to me. Who knew?
Weird Wind says, bedroom cam is for OnlyFans.
You know, is that like a website? Because I see all kinds of like TV shows and porn talking about OnlyFans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, you can pay a subscription fee. It is kind of like the cameras on the porn sites,
Right.
but it's not always for porn. But you can make requests and do things for, they do things for tips.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So it's Twitch where you can have nudity and do things.
Yeah.
But it's not Twitch.
No,
But
I'm
it's
just
not
wondering.
Twitch.
I'm just wondering if it'd be better if we took our content over there, even without the nude. Then again, Ed could walk in, fucking room, and be butt-ass naked. No big deal. If we're streaming over there, still put it up as podcast without a problem.
Well, you can go ahead and look into that. There you go.
I think Wordwin already has an account.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's like adult Patreon, no live streams.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh. Well, screw
I don't know.
that.
I never paid for it, so
I never
I
paid
just
for
know
it either.
people get stuff for it. Okay.
no, I
Takes the fun out of it if you got to pay for it.
yeah, I don't want to go to an adult. I don't want to be a cam girl. I'm not looking to make money off showing off my little. By the way, here's a question I asked earlier before we were on air. If man boobs are called moobs, are man titties called middies?
Shut up, Bernie.
Yes, it is.
I've seen pictures lately of Bernie wearing a nice set of middies himself.
And there he is.
Absolutely.
I don't think I have enough yarn.
To do what?
I'm very sad. Look, that's
To do what?
Cover moves.
Hey,
no to finish this blanket.
You might be able to
I need
extend
more
one
yarn.
of my dinkies over here.
Hmm.
Okay. Any other thoughts on spare room? Crazy ideas you guys like to do? Craziest room you'd like to decorate or have in your house?
I would like to have a conservatory, or like a greenhouse plant room to make my stuff. With all my herbs and plants, so I can make my body products, my concoctions.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have that. Next house.
Well, possibly screening in the front porch. Because remember, that problem with the porch got to be fixed. Might as well turn it into a plant room.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
We might do that with our upper deck. Turn it into a greenhouse.
Yeah.
nice.
Till the wind comes along, you better have panels you could pull out.
Yeah.
Okay.
We never use it.
Yeah, I know. Don't you hate that when you're like, I've got this thing and I never use it, and you want to
Well,
use
yeah,
it?
I guess that would count as a spare room, the back deck, the
Mhm.
deck, or whatever. How would you turn that into an area for plants?
You can get the little mini greenhouses on like Amazon for $200. So
It's
You're
still
going
going
to
to
buy
be.
little greenhouses?
What about
Okay.
the open decking underneath it?
we would do planter boxes. Yeah.
Gotcha. What kind of stuff you going to grow?
Herbs.
Well, the crowd just went wild with that one, didn't they?
Yeah, just herbs for the kitchen. That's all.
Okay.
Oh, I'm looking forward to growing a whole garden of lettuce. So, yeah.
It's like
Hmm.
butter.
It is butter lettuce.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to wrap this up considering Ed has to be up way too fucking early tomorrow morning. We'll cut this episode a little bit short here. Anybody got any closing thoughts before we cut it off?
Do it.
Closing toast. Mailbag.
Yep, let's check the mailbag first. Hold on, looking
And
for
weird
it.
when you have a screen porch that's mostly shade, you can get like grow lights. It's special light bulbs that have the UV, so you can do that there.
Yep. Screen portraits are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since we've gone on here, so it's disappeared. God damn it.
Oh no. What?
Hold on.
His email is gone.
No.
We've even
the
spare
whole
rooms.
switching
We've even
IDs
used our
of-
camper as a spare room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps the stinky people outside.
Nah, we've stayed in the camper.
Oh, let
Giving
them
up
stay
our
inside. There we go. Here we go. So, something that I said on Twitch Sings was, remember, shot glasses are just pint glasses that haven't finished growing yet.
Yay!
We'll do that.
Here.
Want to thank everybody for all those bits they threw, all the subs, gift subs, followed. Appreciate that from all you folks here on the live show at twitch.tv/Travis Tavern Talk. And also want to thank everybody who showed up on the podcast to download them and listen to them. Always great to have you guys here. Remember, if you want to email us about this topic or something else, Ed, you look like you want to say something.
I said, yeah.
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 Where it says drinking booze from underage glasses. I'll lick that. Right, lost track.
Shut up, Bernie.
You can send us email at talkofthetavern@gmail.com. That's talkofthetavern@gmail.com. And don't forget, you can find the podcast at bit.ly. That's bit.ly/Travis Podcasts. It's bit.ly/Travis Podcasts, as well as find my books at bit.ly/Travis Books. That's enough of that, except for the merchandise. I mentioned that earlier. Didn't tell everybody on the podcast where to find it. We're going with another bit.ly link. bit.ly/tavern merch. That's going to be shirts. That's going to be the bit.ly/tavern merch will be shirts and stickers. If you want the pint glasses and hats, that will be bit.ly/tavern merch 2, the number 2. And that's Ed's favorite. Okay. Don't forget to support the other podcasts, such as Right Night with Michael Thompson and Aaron Kennedy joining me to discuss the creative process. And my cat is headbutting the mic. And Stealing for Survival, the tabletop role-playing game that takes place in the world I write books in. Okay, let's do some music to get out of here. You guys have a great week, and we will catch you again next week on Talk of the Tavern. Good night, everybody.
Thanks
Bye.
for listening to the discussion shenanigans tonight. You are the one thing that makes the show what it is. Don't forget to join us at the tavern next week. Until then, have fun, keep learning, and be good to one another. Now, raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every day and steamy dreams every night.
While traveling, it's usually best to pack light. When it comes to money, carrying some cash and having an alternative like Zelle is a great idea. Zelle's an easy way to send and receive money with people you trust. At any U.S. bank, it's already in thousands of different banking apps, and it's money straight into your bank account in minutes fast. Look for Zelle in your banking app today. Safe travels.
Holidays are here, and so is fashionable fitness. Gift yourself a Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3 5G, a phone that folds in half to literally stand on its own. Pair it with the Galaxy Watch 4 for ultimate wellness and wow factor. Check health stats, flex personal records. Over 90 activities can be tracked, like biking, swimming, golfing, and more. Invest in yourself with tech made to crush goals. Holidays open up with Galaxy. Shop it all at Samsung.com. 5G connection and availability may vary. Check with carrier. Products sold separately.